outside with me maybe a minute later, but when we got to my car, the old woman was gone. Nobody inside. The doors were still locked exactly how I left them. The security guard checked around the parking lot, but there was nobody there. I drove home shaking the entire way. I still think about her face sometimes, especially that smile, because it was so creepy. The second story is sent by Taylor. A few months ago, I got off work really late, around midnight. I work at a warehouse, and after long shifts, I'm usually too tired to even think straight. That night, I stopped at a gas station to grab a drink before driving home. The parking lot was almost empty. There was only one other car parked near the air pumps, and the gas station itself looked dead quiet. I went inside, bought my drink, and stayed maybe 2 minutes max. But when I came back outside, something felt wrong immediately. My car door was slightly open, not wide open, just enough to notice. At first I thought maybe I forgot to close it properly, but I never do it, especially late at night. I walked closer slowly and looked inside. Everything seemed normal. Nothing stolen, nothing moved. So I laughed at myself and got in. The second I sat down, I smelled something horrible. Like, like wet clothes mixed with rotten food. I looked around trying to figure it out where the smell was coming from. Then I heard breathing, very quiet breathing, right behind me. I froze instantly. I slowly looked into the review mirror, and there was a man laying down on the floor behind my seats. I couldn't even fully see his face at first, just his eyes staring at me from the darkness. I screamed and jumped out of the car so fast I hit my head on the door. The man didn't chase me, didn't move. He just stayed there watching me. I ran back toward the gas station yelling for help. The cashier locked the front doors immediately and called the police. While we waited, I kept staring at my car from inside the store. And I swear the man slowly sat up in the back seat. The cashier saw him too. Then the interior light in my car suddenly turned off. For maybe 5 seconds, we couldn't see anything inside anymore. When the police arrived and opened the car, nobody was there. They searched the entire parking lot and found nothing. But one officer asked me something strange that I still don't forget. He asked if I had checked my trunk. I told him no. When they opened it, there was nothing inside except a dirty old photograph. It was black and white, and somehow it was a picture of me walking into the gas station only 20 minutes earlier. I still don't know how to explain this story, and it still haunts me to that day, but I'm just going to live with this nightmare for the rest of my life. third story is sent by Mia. This story really scared me a lot, you know. So let's get into it. This happened to me and my best friend Sarah last winter. We had gone to get food really late after a party. It was around 1 a.m. and we stopped at this empty parking lot behind a fast food place because Sarah wanted to eat before driving home. The whole area was quiet, you know, no people, no cars, just us sitting there talking and eating fries in my car. I remember joking around when suddenly headlights turned into the parking lot. A black car slowly drove toward us. At first we thought nothing of it, you know. But instead of parking somewhere else, the car stopped directly in front of us, facing us. Its headlights stayed on. Neither of us said anything for a few seconds. Then Sarah laughed nervously and said maybe the guy was waiting for someone, you know. The man inside wasn't moving. He was just sitting there staring at us through the windshield. I couldn't really see his face clearly because of the lights. Then suddenly the headlights turned off and we finally saw him. I wish we hadn't. The man looked, you know, wrong in a way. That's the only way I can explain it. His face looked way too pale, almost gray. His eyes looked completely black in the darkness. And he had this, you know, this huge smile scratching across his face. Not normal smiling, like painful white. Sarah whispered, "Why is he looking at us like that?" I didn't answer because honestly I was frozen. The man slowly dialed his head to the side without breaking eye contact. Then he left one hand and tapped the steering wheel over and over. Tap, tap, tap. Slow and weird. I told Sarah we should leave. The second I grabbed the keys, the man suddenly opened his car door. We both screamed, to be honest. He stepped out really slowly, still smiling. He was tall and skinny, wearing this dirty dark coat. But the worst part was the way he moved. It didn't look natural, you know. Like every movement was stiff and delayed. He started walking toward our car, slowly. Sarah kept saying, "Go, go, go," you know. I tried starting the car, but my hands were shaking so bad I dropped the keys between the seats. The man got closer, and closer, and closer. I could finally see his face properly. His mouth was hanging way too wide open, showing all of his teeth. And his eyes, he looked dead, not tired, not sick, dead. I finally grabbed the keys and started the car. The second the car turned on, the man stopped walking. Completely stopped. Then he slowly pointed toward the back seat of my car, still smiling. My stomach dropped instantly because both of us were sitting in the man was still standing there in the middle of the parking lot, watching us, smiling. But there was something even worse. Someone else was standing beside him now, and I swear there hadn't been anybody there before. We got out of the parking lot and none of us looked behind. We just drove far, far away, and we have never been there anymore. Never. The fourth story is by Connor, and he has sent me this a very long time before. This happened to me after work one night. I stopped at a random parking lot near a closed pharmacy because I was really tired and wanted to sit for a minute before driving home. It was around 3 a.m. The parking lot was completely empty, no cars, no people, just nothing. And just those bright parking lot lights buzzing overhead. I was sitting in my car scrolling on my phone when I noticed movement outside my window. An old lady was standing there, just staring at me. I jumped because I honestly had no idea where she came from. She looked really old, white hair, long coat, pale face, At first I thought maybe she needed help, but something felt off immediately. She wasn't blinking. I opened my window a little and asked if she was okay. She didn't answer. She just, smiled. Not creepy at first, just weird. Then another old lady walked out from between two parked trucks nearby. I have no idea why I didn't notice her before. She slowly walked toward my car too. Then another one appeared behind me. 3 old women all surrounded my car, none of them talking. I remember lying nervously because the whole thing felt so random and uncomfortable. I asked them if they needed something, and they just said nothing. The woman near my window slowly lifted her hand and tapped the glass once. Then all 3 of them smiled at the exact same time. That's when I noticed their teeth. Their smiles looked too wide, almost scratched, and their eyes looked completely black under the parking lot lights. I locked my doors immediately. The old lady by my window leaned closer to the glass. I could hear her breathing. Then in this quiet, raspy voice she said, "Let us in." I instantly started my car, but it just wouldn't turn on. The lights inside my car started flickering. The 3 women just stood there smiling at me. Then slowly they all started walking around my car in circles. Not normal walking either. Their movements were slow and jerky, like something pretending to walk like a person. I was freaking out, trying to start the car again and again when suddenly one of them knocked on my back window hard. I turned around and almost screamed. Her face was pressed against the glass. Her eyes looked completely white now, and she's still smiling. Then all 3 women started whispering at the same time. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but it sounded wrong, voices speaking together. The inside of my car suddenly got freezing cold. I swear I could see my breath. Then the woman near my driver window whispered, "There's room in the back." I looked in my mirror without even thinking, and somebody was sitting in my back seat, a fourth old lady, just staring at me from the darkness. I finally got the car started and slammed on the gas so fast I almost crashed, leaving the parking lot. As I drove away, I looked back once. The three women were still standing there under the lights, not moving, just watching me and smiling. That night was a night that I will never forget, and I still am scared to drive alone during the night, but I will try to live with this fear for the rest of my life. Thank you guys so much for listening to those stories. I hope you like them, and make sure to like this video, subscribe, because more videos are